I'm going to say a few words about you, Agustin, actually. I met Agustin like in 2009, I think. He was working on the organization of the Desktop Summit in Gran Canaria. And so that was actually a big challenge. That was the first time we had a co-located event between the GNOME and KDE communities. And you know, those guys like to fight. So he had to provide a neutral way, a neutral place for them. He did a really amazing job. That was a great event. And so that was a long time ago. And recently he joined SUSE. He's now the team lead for the OpenSUSE team inside SUSE. So you'll see his face more and more inside the OpenSUSE community. He might not look like it, but he's a nice guy. So don't be too afraid of him. And I guess I'll just give you the spotlight.
Thank you, Vincent. Thank you guys for coming. The first, I would like to take 1 minute to thank everybody that is working on the event. The people that is helping us from college has been terrific. The Linux Day guys and the Gentoo crew are helping us a lot. And obviously all the OpenSUSE supporters and the SUSE people that is involved in the event, thank you. We're going to have 4 good days. Thank you, guys. Okay. When the committee asked me for the keynote, we were discussing a little bit about what topic to use, and recently we were talking and discussing about what to talk about, and we wanted to bring a new topic. It's not a regular keynote probably for a true geeky OpenSUSE event, but times are changing, and open source is mainstream, and we are seeing how open source and business are more and more close tied together. And if we analyze the development upstream, not just on the most popular products, not more in the most popular projects like maybe the desktops or even the kernel, right, or LibreOffice, but in tons of small, tiny upstream projects, we are seeing how business is very tightly related to open source, to the open source culture. In fact, if we analyze not just the big ones, but also small ones, we see that in many of the healthy projects, there are many companies working hard to make the project successful. So it's a long time gone, those days in which free software was developed basically on volunteer basis, which is good in a way, but also it brings some risks, right? Okay. We have two distributions involved in this event, and traditionally the business side of free software in these big projects has been brought by big companies. But more and more we are seeing how small companies are part of the equation. And we shouldn't be afraid. We shouldn't be afraid of targeting them, because they are strong, really strong, powerful force. And those projects that are being successful in bringing small companies into their equation are growing really, really fast. And examples like the old PHP CMS, Drupal, Joomla, examples like product-based projects like OpenERP, and obviously some others better known, but we are seeing that on the desktops either, right? KDE and GNOME. More and more small companies are supporting them. And for us as distributions, we need to make sure that we're targeting them, because if we don't, somebody else will. How, oops. Let's see. Okay. So this is the idea. Why we should be targeting small companies? Why a distribution like GNU, OpenSUSE, like any other, should focus a lot of energy into bringing small companies to the equation? Well, I was looking for some basic reasons. They are maybe not the most important for all of us, but I wanted to talk about it. I like the idea of bringing into distributions this customer-oriented focus. Small companies are really, really, really close to the people that use their software, and I want that close to me, and I think the distributions can take a lot of advantage of that vision. We need it. I always have the feeling when I'm contributing upstream and also when I'm dealing with distributions that we are still too far away from users. So we need to get more and more close to them, and this kind of focus, it's really, really powerful. These guys, when you talk to people that are very involved in small companies, they have customers in mind because they are really close to them. We tend to think that small companies do not have great experience, and in free software it used to be that way. Probably 10 years ago, there were not that many free software companies, and most of them were not run by senior developers. The senior free software developers were mostly hired by the big companies or were in college. But that is not true anymore. There are out there tons of small companies with senior, very high-skilled, experienced people. So bringing them to our ecosystem means that we're going to bring to our ecosystem a lot of experience, and that is really good. That is something that I've seen, I've lived in first person, and I really enjoy. If we think about a distribution as a free software project in terms of a model, having tons of free small business, small companies coming to our project means that we're going to have many good entities supporting us, and that somehow gives the project a lot of autonomy because you don't have 1, 2, 3 strong forces pulling, but you have many small forces pulling, and they cancel each other in many ways, many times. So that the experience that I have with small companies is that they support you a lot. They also request a lot from you as a project, but also you feel a lot of autonomy at the same time. And I think that is really, really good for a free software project and for an integration-based project like a distribution is. And another good thing about creating ecosystems of small companies around your project is that if you find a way to do it, it scales a lot. When we look at these projects that are being successful bringing small companies, like the one I said before, they are going really big. Not at the beginning, but once after some time, they are becoming really, really big. And they are used like hell. They are truly mainstream. Nobody discussed that some of the projects I've named before are number one in the market. And they are because they found a way to become scalable, and that scalability comes basically through finding an ecosystem formed by small companies. And it fits. If we think about what the small companies can bring to your project and the direct relation you can create with the developers, it fits in the free software culture. So it do not work because you have to do a lot of things. It works because it's natural. It's natural. You are very close, being a free software project, of the decision makers of those small companies. You can talk to them directly. You can interact to them directly. That is something that helps you understand what they want, what they think, and vice versa, which is basically the nature of the relation between developers. They just have simply different interests. And in order to approach them and be successful approaching them, you need to have something they want. Because if you do not offer them something they want, obviously they will run away and go somewhere else. And we are competing, right? We are competing with other distributions, with other closed source platforms and projects. So why small companies would like to join us as a distribution? In this case, I'm going to put as example OpenSUSE. What do we have to offer them? Well, the first thing that came to my mind, and it's really natural, is that small companies really have a bottleneck in the marketing side approaching new customers. They might have good products, but they have tons of problems of creating a big base of users, customers. And that is exactly what we have. So I guess we have something they would like to have. So it's something definitely we can offer to them. If we approach a big company, they have other ways to reach tons of potential markets. But the small companies needs help. Another thing that everybody wants from us when approaching a free software project is testing and QA. They want you to test and try your software to provide them feedback. That is something we do really well. In fact, maybe too well, right? We put so much energy into this that sometimes the comments on the mailing list and the forums are not really good for that business, right? For that company. But hey, it's how it is. And that is something we can offer to them that they really need, because they don't have a huge customer base. So their software needs to be tested by more people. And we can offer that. It used to be a time in which for small companies, also for big companies, it was easy to go to free software project and pick up good high-skilled people. But the truth is that the market, the talent forest has been totally burned out by big companies. Big companies, you know, if you write 3 good lines of code in some key projects, you are hired. Because, you know, there's a huge demand. We are still, as distribution, has to offer talent to these small companies that have even harder trouble looking for talent. And for them, it's extremely expensive to train the people. And when they do, most of those guys that work on open source, they get a spotlight and they are hired by other people. So small companies really have a trouble first picking up and then teaching, afterwards keeping the good people. So they need to go, we can offer them a learning ecosystem in which it's easier for them to pick up talent and train talent. And I have the feeling that when I say we, I say some free software projects, most of free software projects still are not aware of how valuable is this for businesses. Businesses put tons of money in attracting talent. And we do that basically for fun. So being aware of that is the first step to be able to not create value, because we are creating it, but packaging the value so we can actually, quote, sell it. Another topic we can offer them is pre-sales channel. If you see users as just people that use software, okay, fine, but we have to see ourselves as distributions also as a pre-sales channel, a first-class pre-sales channel. If a small company integrates its software into our distribution, tons of people are going to use it, but not just at home. They are going to use it in their own businesses, in their own companies. And that is nothing but pre-sale step of all the selling chain, right? So it's very powerful, because for small companies that is a huge bottleneck. Even if they reach a potential customer, the pre-sale step is really, it costs a lot of money to them. And that pre-sale step is really shortened and make it easier if they integrate the software with a distribution and we provide it widely to many users. And probably another strength that is, and I finish with this, that is related with the question I raised before about it fits in the free software culture, is that distributions like OpenSUSE, distributions like GNU are for small businesses nothing but partners. We are not competitors. We are not players for them. Which means that building the relation with them is going to be much, much more easier. So, and I want to finish with this. One of the ideas we are working on in SUSE, in the OpenSUSE team, we will be especially designing the following 2, 3, 4 months, is how can we improve our relation with small companies. So we convert OpenSUSE into a very friendly distribution, very friendly pre-sales platform, marketing platform for small companies. We have done a lot of job. Now what we are going to do is just simply structure a little bit that job, all the job that we have done in the past, and present it in a business-friendlier way, so these small companies see us not just like a good distribution, but also as a part of their business strategy. That's it. Thank you, and enjoy the conference.